I know that you like certain podcasts.
Yep.
Name a few that you like and what you like about them.
Well, none of them revolve around our industry.
Okay.
Joe Rogan, that's the given one. Who doesn't like that one? Bussin' with the Boys is my favorite podcast.
What do you like about it?
It feels like a locker room. It feels like just a hang inside a locker room, and you just so happen to listen to it. You just so happen to be there.
Okay.
And they talk to a lot of really interesting people. They talk to mostly athletes, especially in football, because the two hosts are former NFL players. But they've had comedians, like they've had Bert Kreischer on. They've had Hardy. They had Trump on when he was running for president.
That's crazy.
They've had business people on. I mean, they've had all kinds of. They had Nickelback on. And they just recently had Bryce Harper on. So it's eclectic. But no matter who they have on, it feels like a hang.
Okay.
Like it feels like Bert Kreischer was on. It felt like he just walked into the locker room after a game and they're bullshitting.
Okay. What do you think we should be doing with this? I know that you want to do something a little bit more informative and laid back. I want to be more of a hype guy, and I want to bring more attention to the things that we're passionate about we want to do. Mm-hmm. And I also want to hype up local businesses and people and try to meld that together. I don't know how we do that.
Well, you can. So it's just our personalities.
Yeah.
So you're the hype guy. I'm the hammer, because I'm very logical. I'm nuts and bolts.
Yes.
You're the excitement guy. Just letting that personality show through.
Yeah, be Coach Will, get out there, introduce myself. Because one thing I'm really interested in doing and excited about is interviewing people. Mm-hmm. And I know that you want to interview people to kind of get the nuts and bolts and details of how things work, because you want to know, you're curious. I want to know who people are. And interviewing them and taking the time to do that is really enjoyable. You know, I had the other day that I took with Dean, and I interviewed him just for fun, for practice, to see if this is something I want. I had so much fun asking my son who he was and what his day was about. I'm like, this is actually very enjoyable. Why have I never done this? So I'm on the more of the personal side of things. I feel like I'm more about how people work. I'm very curious about, not about what they do, but how they work. Mm-hmm. Why they do what they do, what's their family like, what drives them, what's their purpose. You know, I really enjoy getting to know that. Like, I've known you for how long now? When I remodeled
6
your
years?
kitchen?
6 years?
Yeah, remodeled your kitchen?
Yeah.
That's how we met, by the way? Kitchen.
End of 2020, so almost 6 years.
And I never knew that you were ASTM certified, or what, accredited for a car.
ASE certified.
ASE. So you're the detail guy.
I'm not anymore.
Not anymore?
Yeah,
but you were.
Because that's one of those, you get certified, then you have to do the continuing education. I never did that.
I knew Tyler.
But I was, yeah.
I knew Tyler as the roofer that did wakeboarding.
Yep.
6 years later, I find out he knows how to rebuild engines. And I'm like, how did I not know this? I'm pretty open and wide open and very flamboyant, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I just, hey, here I am. You're a little bit more quiet and better listener than I am.
Yeah.
I can't believe you agreed to that. No. But I didn't have no idea. I knew that you drifted, but I didn't know that you were certified. You went to school for that, which was
I went to school for almost 2 years for that.
And why'd you stop doing that?
So, I wanted to be a mechanic, because mechanic was working on cars and building cars. Actually, I went to high school. I took a motorcycle mechanics in high school, but building and tinkering with stuff was I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
And I always thought if I did it for a living, it'd be I get paid to do my hobby. While I was in school for it, I worked a couple jobs, but I roofed with my dad. I roofed with my dad since I was 14. And I did some side jobs for him while I was in college. And it was year 2 of mechanic school that we had to start doing internships. And in doing internships, is how I learned how the actual job is. It wasn't just because in school you learn how to fix cars, and the internship is you actually learn like the day in and day out of what this job is.
How you get paid, what the pay scale is, what the hours are like.
Yeah, exactly.
What the requirements are.
Exactly. And I went and I met several mechanics that had been doing it for 15, 20, 25 years, and they were making less money and working longer hours than I would do just even side jobs in roofing.
Yeah.
So I was like, and roofing I knew it wasn't super enjoyable for me. It was super hot and sticky and messy, and
I don't think it's enjoyable for anybody.
Nobody loves roofing, and I was roofing, I wasn't selling, I wouldn't work in the office. I was,
and I can see how being a mechanic, which is not a fun job either, sitting in a sweatshop working on a car with grease and hot motors and oil and busting your knuckles, would actually seem kind of nice compared to roofing.
It would, yeah, and that was
the angle.
The angle. It was part of the angle. I just thought I would enjoy it more, and but it was just one of the. And at the time, especially when I was in mechanic school, we had our first. Our daughter was 3. We had our second one on the way, so
you needed money.
Making a living was a big part of it, and I was already making a better living working roofing on the side, and I'm like, I'll just do that full time. And it also, a perfect storm. My dad's company, the one I used to work for, he had just landed a big contract with a public school that he needed. He actually offered me a job, and I was in the middle of mechanic school, and I'm like, yep, see ya.
See ya. Yeah, I have a similar origin story as well. I mean, like you said, you worked for your father for years and your grandfather, so you started roofing at 14 years old, so you understood the industry. And usually that scares people away from it or they're stuck with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was stuck with it. My dad was an aeronautical engineer, and he made sure everybody knew he was a rocket scientist my whole life. And then he decided that he got tired of corporate, so he went and got his GC, and he started a building company. So I helped him start his first company when I was 17. I think it was Bill Varney Services. I think it was what the first company was. We started out as landscapers while he was going to get his GC license, and we started doing handyman work, and then we started doing full remodels. So by the age of 20, I was running 10-man crews, which most guys over the age of 30 don't want to hear shit from a 20-year-old.
No, and I've been in those shoes, so I know what you mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I better know what I'm talking about. I better be perfect, or I'll get zero respect from those guys. So I studied a lot. I read a lot of how to do books. Complete Idiot's Guides to Electricity, Complete Idiot's Guides to Carpentry. And I started reading, because we didn't have YouTube when I started in the industry. I also learned very quickly on certain guys you want to sit back and watch and learn. Because I may be running the crew, but it doesn't mean, because I know what the overall picture and the scheme and the project entails is a total different than having a skill at something and having to do the skill. Managing is people, and doing a skill are 2 totally separate things. And most people that have the ability and the skill at something usually aren't really good at managing people. A lot of my favorite subcontractors that are really, really good at doing tile, finish, carpentry, painting, the better the skill, the more of a pain in the ass they are, more arrogant they are. So you got to learn how to work with those people, especially when you're younger than them. But you respect them for what their knowledge base and their skill level, the quality that they can do. But I learned quickly that there was more money working on my own, like yourself. And I started my first company at 23, just being a trim company, installing trim for 3 different builders, getting paid by the foot. And for 23 years old, it was great money. And it was a great lesson to me for how hard I had to work, because now you're getting paid by the foot. You're not getting paid by the hour. You're getting paid for performance. And I prefer that, and I think the reason I prefer a performance payment is because my background in being an athlete. Athletes are all performance-based. If you're going to be able to play, your play time, if you're going to be a starter, you're going to sit the bench. You're working all week for that one Friday Night Lights. And you're working all off season for that Friday Night Lights, that one opportunity to go out in the field. And I think that really relates to a lot of people that are entrepreneurs. Most of them I know competed in something. They're used to competing. They're used to the day-to-day structure of doing something that is going to pay forward a year from now. You know, starting a diet, starting an exercise routine, trying to get faster because in a year from now you need to be at this level. And I think that translates. So, and I know that you competed at a few different things, motocross, right?
Yep.
Dirt bikes, you did wakeboarding, you did drifting. Out of those, which was your favorite?
Oh, wakeboarding for sure.
100%?
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, now that I'm really, really thinking about it, wakeboarding was definitely my favorite because that was the sport that I tried to go pro at. Everything else I did for fun, but this one was this was serious.
Yeah.
I tried becoming a professional wakeboarder. Thank God I didn't.
Why?
Because everybody that I grew up with competing in wakeboarding, a couple of them went pro. And it was actually a big FOMO for me when I was 20 or early 20s. They're getting to travel the world. They're going to Australia, Singapore, Japan, China.
Living that life.
Living that life, just wakeboarding for a living. Getting to go to photo shoots at Lake Powell and they get to sleep in on any given weekday and wake up and go wakeboarding and actually get paid to do it. There was FOMO in that. But now that I'm in my 30s, most professional wakeboarders retire late 20s, early 30s. They're all retired now. They're all starting over.
Yeah.
You know how many of them have gotten into construction?
A lot, I'm sure.
Most.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of them I know got into roof sales.
Okay.
But he's getting into roof sales at 30 years old from ground zero. And I was 30 years old selling roofs, having done it for
15 years
already.
Yeah, teased on shingles.
Exactly. And in wakeboarding, you're getting paid to do an amazing sport that you love. There was some money in it at the time, not enough to retire on. There's no money in it today.
None.
But
you still do it.
Oh yeah, because now it's just a hobby.
Yeah.
Because I fell in love with it initially. It was. That's why I wanted to go pro at it, because I fell in love with it.
And I have to be honest with you, I did not think you were an athlete when you told me you were a wakeboarder, since I was, football player, baseball player, wrestler, and I'm like, that's a real athlete. And motocross sports is not real athletes.
Mm-hmm. It's the speed of the bike. It's not you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the pain I was in after wakeboarding for an hour with you was, I couldn't close my hands. But obviously I didn't know what I was doing. But that was a lot more work than I was expecting. I was like, holy crap, okay, Tyler's an athlete. I can't argue with him now.
Well, what else have you competed in? I know football, I know baseball.
I was a wrestler in high school, made it to regionals. It wasn't my passion. I kind of did it to make me better at football. Everything I did track to get faster, be better at football. Football was my passion. Once football left me because my height didn't change. So at 5'8", 175 pounds, you're a decent athlete in high school. Nobody in college wants you at 5'8", 185 pounds unless you're running a 2.0 and you're a running back or a cornerback, and they hope that you're going to grow another 2 to 3 inches. But I also had a huge passion for just competing, and I loved lifting. Okay. So after I got out of high school, I went into bodybuilding. I did 2 big events. One, I came in first by default because I was the only teenager in class. And then I came in third place in my second one. It was a pretty big show. After about 4.5 months of weighing and measuring my food and eating no seasoning, no salt, no pepper, no mustard, no mayonnaise, I realized how much of a foodie I was. And I realized I was not a bodybuilder. I liked lifting, but I liked eating even more. But since then, I went into the military, which I really enjoyed the camaraderie of being in the military. So I was in for 6 years. I enjoyed my time in service. At time, didn't enjoy it as much. But when you get out, you look back at the friendships, lifetime friendships, bonds that you've created, trauma bonding, as we call it. I came out of the military a much better, stronger person, but I also got depressed. So about 2 years after I got a service, I started playing softball because I needed an outlet. I needed that male bonding, that time. That I need to compete, and I think a lot of men need that. But my main sport now is playing softball and coaching my boys in baseball. I love the game. It's some, even at 44 years old, I'm still learning about that game. So, but that's about it.
Yeah, same here. See, for me, because I'm playing softball with you, and for me, yeah, I played baseball growing up, but it was little league. I quit at 14. I played like 2 seasons of flag football, 1 season of basketball, but everything I competed in seriously was individual sports, racing, wakeboarding. So now that I'm in softball, one of the struggles that I'm having is the fact that this is not an individual sport.
No.
And I don't struggle with the fact of, it's a team sport, like it's not all about me. What I struggle with is win or lose, I have a hard time getting over my own individual performance.
Yes, 100%.
Because I'm used to my individual performance being the only factor
that mattered. Yeah. Yeah, and like that's what's funny about baseball. That's why I love about it so much is I can have a horrible game, go 0 for 4, have 5 errors, and we still win.
Yeah.
And then we'll have games where I make 3 incredible plays and I go 5 for 5 and we lose.
Yeah.
It's crazy, you know. You hit your first home run in softball and it's the only run of the game and you lose 20-1 and you're like, what just happened? Like you were so excited about that home run and you just got, and it never mattered. You were done in 3 innings.
Exactly. Let me ask you this. What do you think is better? Like when you walk away from the game, do you feel better that the team won and you sucked, or that the team lost and you played great? Which one makes you feel better?
My performance.
I'm the same way.
Well, actually,
the ultimate is you played good and the team won, and the cardinal sin is that you played like shit and the team lost. Like that,
That's the worst. Yeah, we'll remove that one.
But if you flip them, for me, because it's all individual sports that I grew up with, it's that personal performance. Like we can lose the game, but if I play great, I'm walking out with my head held high. But if we won the game and I played like crap,
I'm mad.
I'm mad.
Yeah. So it's just like wrestling. It's individual.
So you would actually
sport.
do well with individual sports.
Yes. Yeah, I did well with wrestling. It just wasn't my passion. I enjoyed doing it at the time. But I do feel, all right, so if we want to put it on a scale, the team winning and I played like dog crap is still, it's got to be tied with the team losing and me having a great game. There's like no difference there. But I hate losing. I really do. So I'd rather the team win and me play like crap. But a good consolation prize is to lose and have a great game and, and tell everybody, hey, you guys did well. You sucked. I'm not going to tell you sucked. But, but great game, guys.
Right.
I'm still kind of walking home a little puffed chest and a little...
Yeah, exactly. I did great.
Yeah, I did great.
I feel great. Yeah.
But I hate letting my team down.
100%. Yeah.
That is the bottom of it.
Yeah.
I play like garbage and the team doesn't win, and I could have been the difference in the game. That crushes me. That stays with me for a few days.
Yeah.
No matter if it's rec baseball or a tournament, it's still...
See, if we lose and I played like crap, doesn't matter if it was my fault, I will feel like it's my fault.
Yes.
Like if you can go back and check the tape and go, hey, yeah, you played like crap, but...
There was 12 other errors and...
it wasn't your fault. I still feel like it's my fault.
Yeah. Especially when you lose like by 1.
Yeah.
And it could have been 1 at bat that you could have made that difference. 3 guys on, 2 outs, you hit a ground ball at first base, and you're like... Devastated.
Yeah.
Those
moments.
moments.
I had one a couple weeks ago on Wednesday. We were tied. We had the winning run on second. 2 outs. I was up to bat. Ground ball to short.
Yeah.
I could have been the winning RBI.
Yeah. Could have been. Damn. Yeah, I hate those moments.
So you talked about your goal with this podcast is to learn about the people in we're going to say home service industries because that's where we're in. And my goal is the same thing, but it's not necessarily the personal part. It's the nuts and bolts. I want to talk to pretty much anybody, like let's say in plumbing. I want to talk to anybody in plumbing because I want to learn the nuts and bolts of that industry.
Okay.
So I think between the two of us, that is going to mesh really well because in one episode, we're going to learn a lot about the person and we're going to learn a lot about the industry all in
That's
one.
what I kind of like came up with the idea for the Hammer and Hype, because you said you wanted to do a podcast. I said I wanted to as well. I know our visions are a little bit different, but I think that they work together, like you were saying.
Yin and yang.
Yes.
Yeah.
The purpose of this is I have been self-employed essentially since I was 17 years old. Dropped out of high school and started a business. And back when I started business, there was no Facebook. There was no Instagram. There was internet. There was no YouTube. There was no, everything was door knocking, word of mouth, put it in the newspaper, the yellow book. I mean, yeah, I'm not that old, but it was 2000. So
Well, you were right at the cusp, right at the,
the beginning of it.
Yeah. I mean, YouTube came out, what, 04?
Yeah. I mean, my dad would put our number in the yellow book. We would do some magazine ads, and that's pretty much what you did, unless you wanted to get really big and put it on TV and have a commercial ad.
Yep.
But I've always been a word of mouth business guy. So every business I've ever owned, I've never advertised. I had a Facebook page with maybe 30 followers of like previous clients and friends, and that was about it. And I never stopped working. So you met me through an acquaintance. I did their...
Yeah, I got you through word of mouth, yeah.
Yeah, through a word of mouth. And then I got jobs in your neighborhood through word of mouth from you. And that's how I always grew. And I've always been based on that customer service and that relationship of being like becoming friends. So I have a lot of clients like you, like Jared, that we're going to see tonight, hopefully. I worked on his house. And I met him through my wife's contact with her chiropractor. And I did work for him. So, and then I did Jared's house, and now I'm going to his birthday party 5-6 years later. Like, we're still buddies. So, same thing with you. Like, I worked in your house, and we became friends. We ended up coaching baseball together. We ended up playing softball together, and then we ended up starting Platinum Roofing together. So, I've always been that person. So, what I want to do for people like myself 10 years ago, now that I know how social media works and I'm getting better at it, is there's so many guys out there that are one-offs. They're a one-man show, two-man show electrician. There's plumbers out there that are great plumbers, but you don't know how to find them. They don't know how to be found. They don't have Facebook. They have a Facebook. They have an Instagram. I mean, I have a really good buddy, Justin Krager, phenomenal carpenter, such a great guy. He doesn't advertise. He stays busy. But if he ever wants to grow, I would like to have a platform for people to find him. You know, he can go on his social media, like, hey, I was on Hammer and Hype, and this is what I'm all about. And then the people that watch us, our viewers, now get to see this guy. And let's say one day we have a good following. Now we're helping that guy get out there and be found. So I know a lot of small, like I would say mom and pop, usually it's just my buds, you know, guys that I've met through softball and through work, people I've hired as a subcontractor, and get their word out there and let them find them. And then they also have some content they can post on their social media, like their Facebook page. Hey, this is me, this is what I'm about. So, I mean, that's my passion behind it.
See, that's where our personalities differ because
Yeah.
you're very selfless in that regard. This podcast, your goal is to showcase people in the services industry to get them out there.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm very selfish in I just want to talk to that person.
Yeah.
I want to learn about it. But as a byproduct, their name gets out there.
Yes. But also you get to teach people and know how to. The difference is most homeowners don't know how to ask the right questions. They don't know the industry. They're trying to hire somebody, and they don't even know what questions to ask. They don't know the difference between one shingle to the next, other than reading the warranties and looking online. They don't know the difference between a P-trap and an S-trap from a plumber. They don't know electric, trying to find a GFCI, right, honey? Or how to flip a breaker.
Yeah.
So when
or
you're
what the hell is the difference between a 110 and a 220?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't know what questions to ask. Or what kind of person that person is. So by you asking the questions you do, okay, how do you work? How do you charge? What's your warranty like? What CRM program do you use? And really get to know the business's nuts and bolts and how that works and how the commission structure works. That's going to help our viewers know how to ask the right questions when they know they're hiring the right person. So I really like the side that you're going to bring to it. So I don't think it's selfish to want to know. You're just a very curious person.
Yeah, selfishly curious.
Yes. Which,
but because it's on camera, we get to that gets to get showcased.
The byproduct of it.
Yeah, the byproduct of it. Yeah.
Of your questions.
Yeah.
His quandaries.
Yep.
All right.
I think it's a good place to stop.
I think it was great.
To be honest.
Hey, that was awesome. Love you, Tyler.
Of you.
Awesome. Thank you guys for watching.